Well, it was a little funky today, folks, at the House Financial Services Committee hearing. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent appeared before the House Financial Services Committee to deliver the annual Financial Stability Oversight Council report and answer questions about the state of the U.S. economy. Well, guess what? Democratic members were all over his ass. And man, it was rough. California Congresswoman Maxine Waters, Massachusetts, Ayanna Pressley, Ohio's Joyce Beatty, New York's Gregory Meeks, my alpha brother. When given the floor, Meeks sought clarity on the twice impeached, criminally convicted felon-in-chief Donald the Con Trump's crypto dealings, their connections to the Middle East. Enjoy.
Businesses and drive their own.
Secretary.
All right, guys, let's get the video playback straight so we can hear what Meeks had to say. Again, y'all, it was quite tense, and they were demanding accountability from these Trump folks, and let's just say they really hate accountability. They don't like accountability. So let's just do this here. We got to make some changes to our computer system. So So we're going to take a break, and actually let's do this here. I'm just going to switch to the next story. Y'all let me know when y'all get the video machine ready, so we can play this here. Folks, Operation Metro Surge appears to be nearing its end as Donald Trump's administration is pulling back on federal law enforcement in Minnesota. On Wednesday, Border Czar Tom Homan announced that the federal government is withdrawing some 700 federal law enforcement agents from the state effective immediately. 150 agents are normally assigned to immigration enforcement in the state, but the move leaves roughly 2,000 agents in Minnesota. Homan claimed the reduction follows what he calls significant progress in cooperation between state and federal officials, including more county jails coordinating the transfer of immigration targets to federal custody. Here's the reality here, Jolanda, they got no choice because they've been getting their asses kicked in public opinion polls.
Well, yeah, that's true, Roland, but I'm concerned if what they say is true, that local law enforcement is allowing them they're working with them. That's bothersome to me. That's when they have access to people and they can deport them or detain them. So that's problematic. But absolutely, after they kill the two people that were not black, white folks mad at them now. And so, of course, they're concerned about white folks being angry at them. And also, if they only took out 700 people, they still got 700 agents. They've still got 2,000 there. So does that overwhelm the Milwaukee Police Department? I don't know. But I know they had to do something to at least appear like they were listening. But I still think that they're there with their hands in the cookie jar, for lack of a better word. And I'm not convinced that the people in Minneapolis are safe. I'm just not.
Joy.
Most certainly not safe. My story is absolutely correct. And when I talked earlier about changing norms, having 2,000 agents there is still crazy, out of the norm. But we're celebrating the 700, but it's still too many. They're still going to be engaging in skirmishes. What they are looking for is a quieting down of things during this 2-week period where Congress is negotiating what their funding is going to be going forward. They shouldn't be getting any funding because they actually don't need it, and they certainly haven't earned it. This is a failed agency and should be completely reimagined. That said, or demolished, whatever you choose. But what they're trying to do is to satiate the things just for a few weeks, thinking that protesters will go back home, thinking that tempers will cool, but we cannot let it happen. We know that this is just a temporary measure, that they'll be right back doing the same things, whether they may not want to kill white people anymore because they know that's, where there's a line, but they'll be right back to harassing Black people and mostly brown people in these areas. And we cannot allow that. And we have to challenge our white friends and family members and neighbors that we need their energy to remain steadfast and ratchet it up, even when it doesn't look as hot as it has looked over the last month.
Rebecca.
Roland, that 700 number is misleading because it sounded like you said that 2,000 ICE agents will remain in the state. That's still an overinflation of what the normal amount is. I think you just say 150 ICE agents are in Minnesota on any given day. In before times. So still to have almost 15 times what's normal, that's still a lot. So, to Joy's point, this is probably much ado about nothing. They're trying to perform and do performative things in hopes that the continuing resolution in a couple weeks gets passed and that the government doesn't have a threat of being shut down again. Like this is a bunch of nothing because there's still too many ICE agents in Minnesota.
Well, there are ICE agents in Minnesota, and look, Tom Homan's job is to, frankly, bring down the heat, bring down energy, and that's what this is all about.